Circle dropped their April features last week, and one of them is about to change how you showcase your events inside your community. I'm talking about restricting event RSVPs to specific access groups. If you host events regularly, this one is a sleeper hit. Let me show you why. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Quick Tips for Circle Communities. I'm Rachel Starr, Circle expert and certified partner, and the founder of coCreator Society. If you're here, you're probably someone who runs a Circle community or is thinking about it and wants the no fluff walkthrough on how to actually use the platform well. That's what these quick tips are for. Okay, so this one is a little different than my usual quick tip. Circle dropped a pretty big batch of features last week. The headline was Circle's MCP, and I'm going to break that down as part of my full April feature drop video coming later this week. But there was one feature in that drop that got maybe a little buried in the list. And honestly, it's the kind of thing that looks small on paper and ends up being absolute gold once you start using it. So I pulled it out to give it its own spotlight today. That feature is the ability to restrict event RSVPs to specific access groups. Here's why this matters. If you run events inside your community, you already know that event spaces used to be kind of an all or nothing. Either they were open to everyone in your community, or you had to create a separate event space inside a separate access group to serve up the right events to the right people, which meant for a lot of us, juggling multiple event spaces depending on who was supposed to see what. Now you can have one event space, one for all your events, and you control access on a per event basis. That's the shift. It sounds small, it's not. Let me show you how I'm setting this up inside my own community, and I'm excited to say I'm actually digging into 2 client communities today and making some adjustments for them. So, in the past, based on access group, I had to have different event spaces. So, inside my community, I always had the live event space. And that is where I host events for all of my community members. So, my strategy sessions, my Ask Me Anythings, hot seats, whatever it might be, I would run everything in this space. And it's always worked great. Members had access to the events. Awesome. I do, however, have some open spaces inside my community. And what I mean by that is not that I host a free community, but I do offer a couple of free resources inside my community. One of them being a quick mini course, the Community Voice Guide. This little mini course helps you walk through creating your voice guide for using AI inside your community. Now, this resource is free, and I deliver it as a course inside my community. So that's what I mean by I have different user types inside my community. I have my members who are paying monthly or yearly to have access, and then I offer up some free resources inside my community. Now, I don't host a free community space because I feel like a free community is very hard to convert to a paid community. So what I do is I give people a taste of inside my doors by serving up my resources that way. I also host some free events inside my community that are open to the public and previously had a public event space also located here on my sidebar. That was my way of keeping events segmented so that people who were members of the community could attend either, but people who aren't paying members could only attend the events that they had access to. Now, with this change, it is so dynamic in the sense that we can now showcase events to non-members. Why I was so excited for this update was actually twofold. One, when I post events in my previous public event space, my members sometimes missed it. They didn't see it. They're trained, they know, we go to the live event space. That's where we see what's happening in the community. Now, we have that events tab at the top, but We also have the branded app. And so our user journey serves up the events that are happening inside the community. And sometimes for our members, our public events that they might actually also benefit from and want to attend would get lost in the mix. And now we have the other side of the coin, where now when a free user enters our space, they're able to see all the events happening inside of the Co-Creator Society. But instead of being able to RSVP, we've created a custom become a member link here so that now it's going to push those members to go, oh my gosh, I want to attend a live community audit. I want to have Rachel audit my community live this week. And it really will help us move members from warm leads into active members. Now, let me show you how you set this up. Here I am on an event that we have coming up. I obviously already have this event in place. I'm just going to show you on the editing side of it. So I'm going to set this event up just like I have always in the past, except now I am going to make sure that automatically post recordings to event is not toggled on because I do not want to give those replays up immediately inside the community to non-paying members. Now, the other item that has to have a change is here where it says restrict RSVP to access groups. So what I have done here is it allows people in these two segments. These are my two access groups that should have access to this event. And I added some custom text to that CTA button, and then I direct them over to my checkout so that it's a really easy journey. If someone comes in and sees that event and goes, oof, I definitely want to attend that, then it's simple for them to go ahead and upgrade and become a Co-Creator Society member and go through the process. Okay, now let's talk about why this matters so much. If your community has a robust events cadence, this is one of the strongest selling points you have. Events are where community comes alive. Events are where members connect with you and with each other, and events are often the exact reason people stay. Before this update, a lot of that value was invisible to anyone outside your paid space. You couldn't show off without spinning up another event space or letting everyone in, but now you can. A few ways I'd put this to work. One, if you run free webinars for lead generation, host them inside your main event space and restrict the RSVP appropriately. No more separate public event space, no more fragmented calendar, just one clean list of everything happening in your world. Two, if you have tiered paid memberships, showcase your higher tier events on lower tiers without giving access. Members can see what's happening, they can see the value, they get that little nudge of FOMO when they realize the coaching call or the mastermind session is sitting right there, just one upgrade away. Now, an important heads up before you go opening this up, I want to flag this because I tested it and it caught me a little off guard. If you auto post replays on your events, anyone who can see that event can watch the replay. The RSVP restriction controls who can register and attend live. It does not control who can watch the replay sitting on the event inside your space. So if you open your event space up to a broader group, every replay attached to every past event in that space is now visible to them too. Inside Co-Creator Society, we already have a separate replay library, so this isn't something we run into. But if you don't have a replay library set up elsewhere in your community, I'd recommend adding one. Before you go by with this, take a pass through your past events, check where your replays are living. If they're auto-posting in your events and you don't want everyone seeing them, move them into a separate replay library or space before you change your access settings. 2 minutes of cleanup now saves you from a surprise later. One more caveat, because I know someone's going to ask, I wouldn't throw everything into that space without thinking it through. If I'm running something truly exclusive, like a private mastermind that costs several $1,000s, I'm not going to have it sitting visible to my lower tiers, even with the RSVP locked. Some offers are best kept out of sight entirely. Use your judgment. But for the majority of your events, this is a really simple way to make your community feel more alive, more active, and more worth being inside. And yes, it's a really simple way to increase revenue without creating new content. If you want to see how I'm putting features like this into practice inside a real community, along with the workflows and systems I use to run coCreator Society, come join us. Co-Creator Society is where course creators, membership leaders, and summit hosts come to build sustainable, community-first businesses on Circle. The link is in the description. I'd love to have you inside. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Bye.